G'day Tiger fans and welcome to Talking Tigers, Richmond's live official podcast. Well, it's been 7 weeks, can you believe, since we last went to air, and the smiles haven't left our faces, I can tell you that, Greeners. Plenty of happy Tiger fans about town, and we're still talking about the GF Daily, and why wouldn't we? And we'll be at that again today, don't you worry about that. The draft was on in Sydney on Friday night, and that's what we're here for today. We're going to tell you all about our new draft picks, and I think we've done pretty well judging by the reactions around Tigerland this morning. Isn't it great to see another father and son at Tigerland with Patrick Naish joining the club? His dad, Chris, will be absolutely pumped. What a great bloke Chrissy Naish is. The Chief, he carried on an absolute storm up in Sydney. JB was there. He saw it firsthand. I've just thrown JB under the bus.
Under the boat.
Oh, yeah, under the boat. Yeah, exactly. They had a good time up in Sydney. Lads, welcome. Hasn't it been a great 7 weeks?
Jeez,
It's
amazing.
Occasionally I just forget that we won and I just get a smile on my face.
It's still surreal, isn't it? It is, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but sometimes you just daydream and think back to all those years at school where you know, it gets to around February, March, and you know you're in for a long season, and all the Carlton supporters are giving it to you, and then
I know.
Now
just
it's
the
like
bragging rights.
That all made it worthwhile.
It just erased all those haters that used to get into us over all these years.
And they've got nothing on us.
Yeah,
nothing on us at all. Yeah, but I think it just was so good. In fact, my two daughters have said how great it was. If you could just go back and relive the whole month. Yeah. If you just get a time machine and relive the whole month, knowing how it turned out.
It was a pretty good month, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
Hey, we've got to talk about that song, Let There Be Rock, the great AC/DC tone, and that's, of course, for Malcolm Young, who unfortunately passed away. What a great song.
Far too early. Oh, it's a brilliant song, but, I mean, they had so many of them, and he passed away only a few weeks, I think, after his older brother, George.
Yeah, from the Easy Beats.
From the Easy Beats, and, geez, what an incredible rock lineage that is, isn't it? Just amazing.
I got on YouTube after Malcolm passed and just was looking at some of the old clips, and that Let There Be Rock with Bon Scott.
Outstanding.
What a great song. The Foo Fighters did a really good tribute, actually, in a festival in Mexico City the other day. I had a look at that as well. Okay. Anyway, that's the song, and get involved with us today if you're listening. I'm not sure if anyone's listening today.
Well, they should be listening.
Forgotten about us. # Talking Tigers. Send a tweet in. JB will read it out. But, boys, what did we make of the draft? And let's have a look at the players we picked up.
Yeah, well, of course, JB was there, so he might sort of go through a bit of the atmosphere of the night and everything. Would be interesting to hear.
I mean, they're, without being disparaging, it's a bit dry.
Yeah.
The night itself, I don't know if it's the greatest television spectacle, but it's great for those heavily invested in it. And for us, it was a bit slow going early because everyone had their picks, and us as premiers, as comes with the territory, you just have to sit back and wait and see what's available. And we entered at pick 17, and then it just went bang, bang, bang after that. So we were firing off picks, and we got Jack Higgins with our first pick.
Well, which was a surprise because he was touted as going a fair bit earlier than that, wasn't he?
Well, if you look at any of the like the Phantom drafts or the form guides or things like that, I think a few had him around the 10 to 12 region.
And I know Cal Toomey was a massive fan from AFL.com.au. I think he had him at 8. Huge rap for him.
So we were pretty surped to pick him up at 17. Well, you brought up an interesting... tell our
Champion Data has run stats on the draftees for the past 15 years, and his stats were the best ever.
Right.
So in total, of all the data that they had on him, the best by any draftee in the last 15 years. Which is ever.
So how did he get through to 17 then?
Don't know. Just not sure.
Another small forward too.
Small forward, a similar type of player. I know you sort of laugh when we mention players, that are like other players.
He's Kevin Bartlett.
No, he's Toby Green-like.
Oh, right.
No, he is a Toby Green type player. Yeah. So it can take a good mark for his size. He's got a really high footy IQ.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely passionate about the game. I've read some stuff about him even as a 12-year-old. I think he missed some team as a 12-year-old, some combined team or whatever. Yeah. He went down the park and he did all these run-throughs and everything just to get himself fitter. Yeah. And he is absolutely obsessed with footy, a real footy nut, and just really determined to make his mark at the highest level.
Going to be some competition for small.
I think that's just going to be fascinating, isn't it?
And then obviously after that first pick at 17, we started to go for some talls, JB,
Yeah, well, the
just
next one up.
bolster the tall ranks.
Yeah, with pick 20, we took Callum Coleman-Jones from South Australia, from Sturt, as a sort of ruck, key position forward type who can float in between, and also, according to Matty Clark, can win his own ball, which is important in that position. I think he had 28 touches in one of the games as well. So.
Was captain of SA in the under-18 champs this year, which was just like Jack Graham the previous
lineage
year.
to Richmond.
Yeah, so...
I guess with the big Evie retiring, we really did need to get some ruckman in, didn't
Well,
we?
also, he can play, as JB mentioned, he can play forward too, so he can really take a good mark and kick some goals. So he's going to be pretty handy, no doubt, to watch his development. And as we said, really good leadership qualities about him as well.
And then at number 25, Noah Bolter. He's a local Melbourne boy.
It's called a Cannons, isn't he? Yeah, called a Cannons. And JB's pretty versatile type too.
Yeah, I think so. So by all accounts, he's tall utility, so he can play either key back or forward, but for lack of a better term, pinch hit in the ruck as well as a second ruckman. So strong,
really athletic.
Stays in the contest as well, which is important. And with a bit of time in the system, that's where the game's going. So I think he's going to be an important
very
player.
athletic, and probably the exact opposite to Jack Higgins. I think doesn't like watching much footy at all. Apparently, outside. Right. Yeah. Just obviously, he's,
well, you don't have to.
No. He's got his interests outside of footy, but just interesting how you can have
all different types.
Very different. Yeah, definitely.
And also played in defence for Vic Metro as well at times. So just versatile types that we've brought in this year.
Yeah, I saw Matty Clark over in the reception.
It was
before.
because it was his first draft, wasn't it, as a recruiting manager?
And they really wrapped it. They were able to get Paddy Nash with the father and son. They were a little bit nervous that they thought somebody may grab him beforehand, but
it was perfect the way it worked out.
It was. So St Kilda bid on him at pick 34, and I don't think there was much time on the clock for our guys to
jump in.
Yep, take him at that pick. So I mean, with Patrick, obviously, his father Chris played here, but more of an outside-ish type player.
But a versatile one as well, can't he? Can play in a few different positions.
Metres gained.
Yep. Yeah, and really good skills, like really good kick, and he can take a good mark for his size too.
I know how he would feel because he's been a Richmond supporter his whole life, obviously.
Done the last 2 pre-seasons.
Yeah.
Passionate. I saw, he tweeting on grand final day just how pumped he was
Over the moon. Yeah.
So really happy to get Paddy Nash in.
And of course, there's another couple of nations. He's got a couple of brothers too that are in the system, I think, and got a bit of ability. So it'll be interesting to watch their progress.
And his dad, Chrissy Knuckles Nash, was up in Sydney.
Yeah, he was
son of Knuckles.
Yeah, Knuckles Nash, little Knucksy.
Hey?
I'm actually playing in a golf day with Nash on Thursday. So can't wait to bump into him. He'll be absolutely pumped. And then our last pick at number 63, we took Ben Miller, who's from Kalgoorlie.
From Kalgoorlie, he's done a fair bit of travel, hasn't he, JB?
And Subi Colts he was playing with, and again, Matty Clark said that they were surprised that he was still there at pick 63, given where they'd rated him on their list. So
another versatile type too.
Yeah, and it was a pick that they didn't have to use, only if there was someone they thought could really add to the list.
Yeah,
and Ben was there, so he's already here.
Yeah, beauty. They're out there training today, actually. The big boys.
Well, he can play again a variety of positions. He can play back. He can pinch it in the ruck too. And I think at the combine, I think he had in the goal kicking, he had 30 out of 30 too. So.
And you were saying before, we basically got everything we wanted, didn't we? Yet they only profiled 7 players. Is that right?
We get a list to prepare, so we're ready on draft night and everything. And we had like 7 names on that list, and 5 of them were So it was a pretty small list, and they basically got who they wanted. So
and they're out there training now.
Yep,
first day of training. Geez, I'd be nervous.
Remember
your first? I can remember my first day.
Well, what happened at your first day?
We did 100 hundreds.
Yeah.
Over at Old Scotch Oval over here.
No water, because you would have been weak to have water.
Oh, you couldn't have water.
No.
That was the old Tony Chul.
So did anyone take you under their wing when you arrived here?
Well, that's what you should do.
Yeah.
I reckon you work out pretty quickly who you should sort of jump in behind and follow at training. And for me, it was Craig Lambert, because he was probably the best runner. And Brian Lees, actually. Leesy was a hard trainer.
Good bloke, Leesy, yeah.
Yeah, so I reckon pretty early on, you should jump aboard someone.
Yep.
And follow them around. I reckon some of those big, tall boys should jump on Alex Rance and watch how he goes about training.
Yep. Interesting. There's a few other little bits and pieces from the draft, of course, because Jack Higgins was a Morris medalist too. So he's had a massive season winning the Morris medal. So It means we absolutely scooped the pool, didn't we? We
Yeah.
had the Brownlow medal, the Liston medal, and the
What
Morrish
else?
medal now as well.
I can't
along
believe-
with all the premiership medals and the
Can't believe
Norm
he-
Smith medal. And
How did he get
Grand
through to
final sprint.
17? We've
No, it's amazing.
That's a steal there, I reckon.
Yep, so he's from East Melbourne.
Yeah.
He lives in went to Caulfield Grammar.
Yep. And he's
Lived in
wrapped that
this-
he only has to come down to Richmond from Caulfield.
No, exactly.
That was one of his most exciting.
Yeah, yeah. But from East Melbourne, another famous Richmond identity from East Melbourne. Who was it?
From East Melbourne.
From East Melbourne.
I've got no idea, Tone.
The great Tommy Hafey was from East
Tommy,
Melbourne.
was he?
East Melbourne, there you go. Yep, yep. And of course, Jack Dyer attended De La Salle College in Malvern. So Malvern's been pretty
There you
good
go.
to the Tigers over
Been
the
pretty
years.
good.
Yeah,
You want to talk about the grand final again?
Oh, please.
Hey?
Every day.
Uh,
Every day I
Yeah.
want to talk about it. How many times have you watched the replay?
Oh, probably 5 or 6.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
conservative, really, compared to what some people have done.
Absolutely.
I've had mates who are now going back. They've watched the prelim 7 or 8
Yep.
times, and now they're back watching the Geelong game now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you got to do it from, I reckon, maybe even sneak in round 22 and 23
Yeah,
for
yeah.
old time's sake.
Well,
but
that's why that Tiger-thon was so good. So Fox
How
Footy's
good was that?
Tiger-thon
That
was
was great.
extraordinary.
How good was that?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
But just over the last 7 or 8 weeks, how many people do you bump into
Yeah.
and see? Like myself and the Chief went to Midnight Oil
Yes.
last week.
Yep.
And I reckon I saw 20 people there with a Richmond jumper or hat
Yeah.
on, still just basking in
Peter
the glory.
Garrett have the Richmond...
No, he
He
didn't.
should have had the Richmond cap on.
I
Yeah,
was
definitely.
selling Midnight Oil merchandise. It was all black and yellow though.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
See,
they're-
everyone's
they're
jumped on the
all-
bandwagon,
yeah.
you know? Well, look at some of the like the Herald Sun circulation figures
Yeah.
throughout September were just through the roof.
Oh, KB.
KB's ratings went through on SEN, went through the roof because
Yeah.
of the Tigers.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
And your old mate Robert Mugabe over in Zimbabwe.
Well, Robert Mugabe was forced to resign, right?
This is how far we
This
reached.
is the
isn't it?
reach, and there was a photo. There was an image
Yep.
of a local Zimbabwean celebrating the resignation of Robert Mugabe, and he had a Richmond jersey
Is that
on.
fair to
He
you?
had a Richmond jumper on, celebrating. We might have just been celebrating the premiership, not just Mugabe.
Has he actually left yet or not?
Oh, I
he
don't
won't
know, I'm not
accept
sure.
it, will
No,
he?
I'm not really sure.
Robert.
I don't
happy.
know. But it's just no, it is. It's a wonderful feeling, and it's just you can't really describe it, can you?
No,
If you haven't, you
no,
know, like
no.
just and the other thing about it is, hopefully that's the longest premiership drought we'll ever have. So anything after it won't ever be quite as good as that, will it? Not
No.
saying I mean you want every one.
No.
Every premiership's fantastic, but that is extra special because it was so long.
Well, people like yourself who've seen a lot of premierships,
6.
they are saying it's the best one. Are you saying that?
No, I've written that and I've spoken about it before. Certainly if not the best, the most significant.
Right.
Because it broke the drought. And they're harder to win now. They're harder to win because you've got a salary cap and a draft and there's 18 teams and it's national comp and all those reasons.
Do you reckon we got enough plaudits? Like, I think
No.
the media turns pretty quickly into, free agency and
Yeah.
trade period.
Oh,
I don't know. I
don't
managed to find it and I managed to
But it's-
indulge myself in it, but
It is funny you say that because
it moves on so quickly.
I reckon by the Wednesday after, you've moved on. You're
Yeah.
right. You know, and not for those that are celebrating it still, but in terms of the wider football public, they moves on really quickly.
I'm going to give someone a whack in a
Good.
minute, but I'll just wait
No, that's
till we
good.
get it into the rundown.
But it
No,
does
looking
turn
forward to it.
quickly, and it's turned so quickly that the players are now back, and now
yeah.
it's 2018 mode. So
You've got to look forward now, don't you?
Yep.
You've got to be in the
Oh,
moment.
I think as supporters, you're entitled to celebrate up till probably the grand final next
Oh,
year.
we
aren't you?
can.
Yeah, because you're still the reigning premier up till grand final day next year.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So there's no reason why supporters can't celebrate. And all jokes aside, I mean, they're very, very hard to win, and no one's saying that you're going to go back to back. I mean, but there's no reason why this group, the oldest player in the premiership side was Sean Grigg, TT's own.
Yep.
29, so he's got plenty of good footy left in him.
Is Griggy back on board with us this year?
Oh,
Scotty?
hopefully.
No.
Yeah, we haven't negotiated. It depends how much money's left over from your salary, though, so maybe not.
Well, I've put in for a pay increase.
Well, why would this year be different to any other year?
Well,
you know?
I'm just letting you know.
After a premiership as well.
So I'm just letting you know
Goodness
that
me.
you
right.
boys might take a little whack somewhere, I'd say.
Oh, well, like every year. but what I'm saying is, so he was the oldest premiership player at only 29.
Exactly. So why can't you?
Well, there's
As
no
long as
reason
you-
in the next few years why we can't be a serious challenger again. And the other thing is that they've got a real appetite for it because every player that was interviewed post-season that we interviewed on the website, Raw Vision, expressed the fact that it was so good and they had such an appetite for it. And the other thing is you get great self-belief from knowing that all the hard work and that you can actually do it.
And I
So
think
you get a lot out of that.
one of the great things about
You just got to be hungry again, don't you?
playing in a successful team that goes later in the season is that you get your break and then you come back. You only do a few weeks of pre-season, you have a Christmas break, and then you're ready to go. So you don't have those long...
How boring's pre-season, seriously.
When do the older boys come back?
Another
Next
week.
Monday.
And then
Next
they have
Monday.
about 2 weeks, and then there's Christmas. So that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the way it should be for
That's
every
why
club.
you want to go deep
You
in
know,
September.
these long pre-seasons.
Oh, no. Goes too long.
And
It's
one of the most encouraging things out there is that George and Butts are leading the sprint, and they're showing the boys who didn't play, this is the standard to get to. And
Well, I dropped into the club last week, and they were out on the track. In fact, I think the week before it there. So there's been a few of them have been on the track, during their break as well.
No, it's great. Great to see them back out there today. Hey, Tone, we've got to give the Poms a little whack, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
How ordinary were they
We
yesterday?
gave them a bit of a whack. Our fast bowlers gave them a bit of a whack yesterday.
Was Mo and Ali out? Was that out?
I think so.
100% that was
By the
out.
letter of the law,
Nothing
there's
going on
no-
the line, did he, JB?
No.
Well, what was Ian Healy going on about?
Oh, who knows? I don't know. Just trying to be controversial or whatever. No, look, it was amazing because we're probably playing catch up, in the test for about 3 days, and then we just had a big session and just blew them away.
Yeah, Tim
Blew 'em
Payne,
away.
good keeper, Tim Payne, Tassie boy.
Well, he would have been keeping it obviously a lot earlier than this had he not done that finger. That was a really serious injury. I mean, he had multiple surgeries on the finger, so he's a very good player.
How good Steve Smith?
So he's Captain Knock.
Second only to Bradman.
He's not far off Bradman at the moment.
Well, I think everyone's still a fair way off Bradman, but amazing.
He's averaging 75 as captain. That's pretty good.
If there is one disappointment out of the test, it's that they couldn't string it along for the Talking Tigers Christmas party.
Oh,
just-
yeah,
they
we
could
were looking
have
forward to
brought it
watching it
deep
today.
into today,
I know,
but,
I know. Come on down, too. We're having our Christmas party today. Where are we having it? We still don't know yet.
Well, I don't know. Scones hasn't
Okay.
booked anything.
All right, okay.
I'll tell you why he hasn't booked anything, Scones.
Ah.
Because he has the biggest wobble up you
Hasn't he got a
ever
wobble?
seen. You know what he did yesterday? The baseball.
Oh, no, I do know, because he's been telling us all morning.
He has hit the Grand Slam walk-off home run.
He actually hit it onto Beach Road.
Yeah,
He's playing out at Sandringham.
I know.
He hit it onto Beach Road
And he's still wobbling around
from Tulip
today,
Street.
isn't
I
he?
know. It's extraordinary.
He's always going to talk about at lunch after this at our Christmas party. His Grand Slam.
He's waiting on an offer from the States, too.
Yeah. Hey, before we
it's
get
going that
into, we got any tweets, JB? Before we get
Oh,
into
hang
them,
on.
before we get into them, we've got a chapter in Conrad's book. TT.
Yeah, I know. Look, Conrad's book is outstanding.
Yeah.
And he sat in here one day, and then he's put us in, and we've got our own chapter in the book.
Every Richmond supporter has to get that for Christmas.
Well, not just. I mean, you're probably not listening if you're not a Richmond supporter, but any supporter of any club
Absolutely.
or any sports fan, because it gives a magnificent insight into the greatest season that you can have.
Yeah. So make sure you go out and
And I reckon
get Conrad's book.
If you know a Geelong supporter or an Adelaide supporter, just buy it for
Buy
them.
it from.
They'll appreciate it.
particularly an Adelaide supporter.
Yeah.
I think they'd really get into that.
We do have a tweet here from Redhead for you, Richo.
Redhead. That might be your old mate from 3AW days.
Oh, Scoot McClure.
Scoop.
No,
Ginger
no,
Nuts.
no. But how did you feel when the crowd was chanting Richo at the end of it all?
How much of a
I
wobble
felt-
did you have?
Yeah, fair wobble. Yeah. No, I did. It was unbelievable. I felt really good, JB.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Does that mean that can you now not present the next Premiership Cup, or what happens there, or are you permanently the presenter for
I
us?
don't know. I actually feel like I played in the game. I actually think I played. That's how good I feel.
Yeah,
All right.
no, that's good. I like that.
And a few people have told me I've got to
Yeah.
pull my head in. I didn't actually play.
And one more from the tail, because the rookie draft's on today as well, so can't go too hard on the Christmas party. But
we can.
Wanting to know the rules
I'm gonna.
regarding Derek Smith Jr., who's from our Next Generation Academy zone, the rookie draft. So I'm pretty sure he can get on the list as a Cat B rookie.
So we can just
because
take
he
him.
wasn't selected in the AFL
So
draft.
we can take him.
Pretty sure we can take him as a Cat B.
Well, in
How
that
many-
case, there's every chance that will happen.
How many rookies will we take today?
Well, I think we'll take Derek
And one other.
and maybe one other. So
Because
that'll do us.
who is still on the rookie list? Marbior?
Marbs.
Cholly.
Well,
Tufone. Yeah.
Soldo and Castagna have been upgraded to the senior list.
So who does that leave?
Stengel, Moore, and Two Phones.
Two phones.
Chol.
Chol.
I reckon one or two of those will get promoted at some stage too.
Next
Is he
year.
still-
Next year. Yeah.
Is he still rocking the 2 phones, Cholly, or not?
Well, we'll have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we need our
We need
man.
Greg at
We
that.
need our man to confirm all that.
All right.
I wonder how Camden's table's going too.
He started another one.
Has he?
Actually,
He's got another one.
Yeah.
We have to get Griggy back next year just so we can hear more about it.
We're going to need a whole show on the off-season, I think.
Even some of the post-premiership stuff about Camden. People were just, because they've listened to TT and all Grigger's stuff, and they were just...
The chronicles.
They actually wrote feature articles about Camden based on TT.
Yeah. Do you reckon we
talk
about Chief now?
Oh, well, how long have we got? We want to get to this the 2017 Christmas party, not the 2018.
So the Chief was up in Sydney, obviously, for the draft. I think he thought it was his day. I don't think.
How come he didn't sit at the table with the recruiters?
Why didn't he?
Oh, you would have thought he'd want to be front and square. Why?
He would have been sitting with Gill and the commission boys, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was out in Homebush, JB, wasn't it?
It was,
draft. And for people who don't know, that's a fair hike out to Homebush down Parramatta Road.
Especially on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah. So you could get stuck in traffic for at least an hour and a half to get out there.
I was in traffic. I reckon it was a good hour 20.
Yeah. So
really?
So the Chief thought, I'm not sitting in traffic. He doesn't sit in traffic.
That's beneath him.
He does not sit in traffic. So he has organised a boat.
Hovercraft?
No, a boat.
Right.
A boat up in Sydney. Not just any old boat, though. A $5 million yacht he has organised to transport himself.
Some Russell Crowe's, was it?
It wasn't. It could have been. I don't know. So he has organised a $5 million yacht to take him from Rose Bay, which is, Sydney well. That's a pretty posh area.
Doesn't get much better.
Doesn't get much better.
That's the height of affluence in
Sydney. Yeah, right. So he has organised the boat to go from Rose Bay out to Homebush, right? Yeah. Is that correct?
Yes, you're telling the story.
So how long would that have taken, that trip?
Well,
not that long?
Not that long.
No.
Quicker than going in the car.
Of course, yeah.
So he's gone out there, the draft's taken place, and then the draft picks have got onto the boat just to go for a little cruise. Blah, 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 with their parents.
Family members,
JB was on the boat. And they thought they were just going to do a little circle and then get dropped back at Homebush because everyone was staying at Homebush in the hotels out there. The parents of the draft picks. The Chief, no, not good enough for the Chief.
What did he do?
No, he got the boat. He wanted to get back to Rose Bay as quickly as possible because he had a dinner.
Before Catalina shut.
A dinner reservation at Catalina.
Never catch up with Malcolm,
So you know what he did? He pulled into Darling Harbour, dropped the draft picks off and their parents off, and they had to get cabs back out to Homebush.
Oh, no.
That is 100% correct.
No.
Plus, he was wearing a skivvy.
I heard he had some interesting gear on.
He was wearing a
skivvy?
Black skivvy. He looked like one of the Wiggles. Seriously.
Black skivvy?
It was pretty hot up there, wasn't it, JB?
Why would you wear a black skivvy?
Why was he wearing a black skivvy?
I don't think it dropped below 23.
So, Chief...
Some nautical gear on.
Fair dinkum. All because of his dinner reservation.
At least he didn't have his Speedos on, or did he?
The draft picks had to get cabs back to Homebush.
That's outrageous.
Not good enough, Chief.
It's extraordinary. Wow. Do you need to make this a goodie? Because is this our last show of the year?
It is.
Yep. Well, this needs to be a bumper edition of Club News.
Surely some big news.
Massive.
It's fairly quiet, but
can't be quiet.
If you like the Chief,
coming off a premiership.
If you two are like the Chief and you like dinner, you have the opportunity to have dinner with the Premiership Cup.
Wow.
At your own house.
Use it as a fruit bowl?
Maybe an ice bucket? Or just show it the due respect that
I hope there'd be a fair bit of respect for it.
What you need to do is go to the Richmond website and find the tab for Win Dinner with the Cup. Enter your details between now and 5 p.m. Sunday, the 10th of December.
What, and it'll go to your house
if you're the lucky winner.
How good's that?
Yep.
The Chief will bring it around too.
The cup will be coming. Yep. The cup will be at your house either between January or March next year.
Who delivers it, Giuseppe or Steve?
I'm not too sure.
I'm interested how it gets there.
That's good though, isn't it? That's a good.
Great opportunity. Great opportunity for the winner.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I'm going to go on record and apologise on behalf of the Superstore. Been absolutely smashed. So there's been a few shipping issues due to some of the suppliers. So we apologise if you haven't received your order yet. And there have been lots of people asking about the Puma Guernseys when they come in because we've got NIB on board as a new partner on the back of the Guernsey, and also we get a new AFL logo on our Guernsey next year as the reigning premiers. We get the gold on it. So
And the caps, you know, the caps that the players wore at Family Day. I want to get one of those too. No, Jack said that they're coming in.
I think they're coming.
Yeah, they're coming in.
I think they're
I
coming.
spoke to Jack last week. No, not Rewald.
Christmas is
Jack
coming
in
as
the
well.
shop, yeah.
So the Puma Guernseys, I think, are going to be launched next Monday, December 4, in line with the players coming back, and also the premiership winning Clash Guernsey.
Oh,
There's been that much demand for that, so I think that's going to...
Polos look good too, the new polos.
Yeah, they're pretty good too.
Yeah.
And finally, just an update on the VFLW team. You would have seen that we've got a coach on board, Tommy Hunter, a former rookie at Collingwood, and our first player, Natasha Bamblett, was signed last week.
From the famous family.
When do they?
Yes.
When does that
family.
season start? VFLW.
Well, I think it's in line with the regular VFL season
Right.
and
April.
AFL season next
April.
year.
Yeah.
And of course, we have our JLT series games lined up next year. So I think we're in Princess Park, Wangaratta, and AFLX. Greeners, you got one. You got a new series next year. Greeners' Ground.
Yeah.
Greeners' Grounds. You can add
AFLX. I know with the
Sydney Football Stadium.
I know,
to that.
massive. I'm really looking forward to AFLX. You'd be right. You'd be commentating on that.
I couldn't give a
Don't
two
be like
hoots
that. It'll be a
about
good game. It'll
AFLX.
be a fascinating game. I've got to mention too, also quickly, the fine work that Big Ivy did at the draft and for Raw Vision with a couple of interviews
did
there.
he?
Yes,
Yeah,
my word. He's
up.
got a very different interviewing style, hasn't he?
Yep.
He's good.
It's good. It's really
Nothing
good.
wring with that.
No. It was
Got to be
excellent.
different.
And a couple of tweets. One from former TT's own to that Brett Delidio. We were up in his territory last Friday night. He sent one to Grigger saying, surely Sean Grigg gives up the number 6 for Patrick Nash.
Oh, no, I wouldn't have thought so.
I
The
saw
numbers
that.
will be announced the next day or two.
I saw Brett Delidio on Saturday afternoon.
Has he watched the grand final yet?
He just had another little baby girl.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
wedding the head of his little girl.
That's great. How's your little girl going,
She's
incidentally?
going well, Zoe.
Zoe?
Yeah, very
that's
good.
fantastic.
Still hasn't seen Richmond lose.
No, that's brilliant. And we should also announce our former TT Zone. He's left now, unfortunately. Our VFL man. Lou, he's gone.
Is Lou back next year?
No, Lou's got a gig.
Win News.
Hey?
He's got a gig with Win News.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, so well done to him. Yeah.
We might have to get Manfred back.
Well, he's pushing hard, I think.
Texted him this morning.
Is that right? Yes. No. Anyway, we'll
I
see what
wouldn't
happens.
mind getting Manfred
No,
back.
Manfred's good. As long as he doesn't wear that jumper that you wouldn't wear fruit picking, we'll be fine.
Actually, Chief Skivvy was worse than Manfred's jumper.
God,
That's how bad it was.
diabolical.
Yeah, it was.
Jeez.
And one more. Oh,
See, he pounced on that like he did with that home run yesterday.
Oh, dear. He hit it into
you saw it well.
He hit it into Port Phillip Bay.
Yep.
Hey, this really annoyed me.
Frightened the Sharks.
This really annoyed me.
What got on your quince,
and I've been
mate?
waiting 7 weeks to
What?
have a crack at this bloke.
What is it? You know it's 8 weeks, but anyway, I'll let you go with 7.
No, 7 since we did our last podcast.
Oh, yeah.
October the 5th it was.
Yeah, okay.
Grant Thomas.
Yep.
He said that we're the worst premiership team ever. And it was bad for football.
It's just...
What?
It's just silly stuff.
What is he talking about?
Well, it wasn't just him. There was a few people that were just
I don't
put down the...
I don't understand it, though, because we kicked 100 points in 3 finals, basically.
I know.
We beat the other 3 top 4 teams over the whole season, and we beat them convincingly.
Mate,
What else can you do in September than that?
I thought that finals and grand finals were all about the intense pressure that was applied. So
But
we applied that. We were 100%
But
for
we
what
scored
we did.
as well.
I agree with that.
I just don't understand anyone that says that.
We've
That
got
is
4 superstars of the game, 4 players that'll be, end up in our Hall of Fame.
It's just a ridiculous
Probably in our
comment.
next
but wasn't
team of
that
the
his
century as
argument,
well.
though, that we only had 4 superstar
No,
players?
but we've got more than them, and that's just then.
No, but that was his
disparaging it.
argument,
Oh, well,
and
yeah,
that
but-
just shows that
Well, that's just
that
silly.
doesn't matter.
Isn't it about being a good team?
Overall team.
We were an exceptional team, and again, I never subscribed to the theory throughout the year that Adelaide was clearly the best team because they only finished 2 points in front of us
Exactly.
anyway, and we had those
Exactly.
narrow losses for 3 weeks in a row.
I
4 weeks in a row.
don't understand anyone that tries to discredit Richmond's premiership win. It was an outstanding September, and Grant Thomas, that really annoyed me. So there's a little clip for
Now,
Grant.
just before, I want to ask you too.
Yeah.
While we're still talking about the premiership, now, your mate. Can we get an update on him with the because he removed the curse. Now, what is going on there?
Kick.
with the
Yeah,
Wales.
what's going on there now? Because is he still doing the doco?
He's filmed stuff, yeah.
Brilliant. When that needs to
Well,
be bankrolled. That doco.
I think, well, he lives in LA. Kit Curry is his name.
Because
He's a good actor.
he deserves some credit for this,
He does.
doesn't he?
He filmed 3 or 4 different things. The whales up in
Yep.
in Byron. the sweat lodge up in the Santa Monica Mountains, where he sweated out all the demons.
Yeah, that's right. And
anyway,
he was with the shaman as well, wasn't he?
The shaman. So he has filmed all this, and I hope that he can get it together.
Well, he needs to get some credit because you came to us that we did the show before the grand final, and you said the curse has been lifted.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
but I reckon it would actually be an interesting doco if he tied it in with the whole
it'd
story
be
of
brilliant.
the year. And it'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, it'd be outstanding.
Yeah, let's hope he gets that off and running kicker.
Just on America, there is a guy over there who is just trending at the moment. His name is Jack Higgins.
Oh.
Jack Higgins, 23.
There's an author, Jack Higgins, as well.
Yeah, right. So on Friday night after we drafted our Jack Higgins, all Richmond supporters started following this Jack Higgins, 23, from Indiana.
Mm.
And he sent out a tweet saying, thanks for all my new followers. I'm not actually the rugby player for Richmond.
The rugby player.
And it's just gone through the roof. From Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah, and now mates are going out for breakfast with him, taking photos with. He's just a famous, name in Indiana. So that's what happens.
What sport was basically born in Indiana?
The Hoosiers.
Basketball.
Basketball. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Just on American sport.
Yeah.
Sconnors' form has reminded me when Barry Bonds was about to hit the record run, and all the boats would hang out in San Francisco Bay, waiting for the ball to come. I think Sconnors is going to have his own tour at Port Phillip Bay.
Well, he could have the chief out there waiting for the ball to arrive.
Having a look at Scones's
yacht.
Having a look at his guns today, he might be on a little bit of what Barry Bonds was on, to be honest. Are they back?
No yellow post-its.
What's happened to the post-its?
Wow, you see the post-its. This is a post-premiership gags and no post-its. Now, these are all Christmas gags, given this is our last show and we're leading up to Christmas, not far away, isn't it?
Good.
Who is Santa's favourite singer?
I'm not sure.
Elvis Presley. Why does Santa have 3 gardens?
Why?
So he can ho, ho, ho.
Oh, jeez. That is horrible.
How many letters are in the Christmas alphabet?
How many?
25. No L. What does Santa suffer from when he gets stuck in a chimney?
What?
Claustrophobia.
Oh, God. These are horrible.
A mate of mine heard the Christmas carol Deck the Halls.
Mm.
Yep, so he did. Yep, Mr. and Mrs. Hall weren't happy.
That's all right. That was good.
What kind of motorbike does Santa ride?
What?
A Harley Davidson.
Oh,
How does Christmas Day end?
How?
With a letter Y. Think about it. And did you hear that Santa went to the doctor? This is after last Christmas with a problem after last Christmas. No, I didn't go with him. And the doc said, "What seems to be the problem, Santa?"
What?
And Santa said, "I seem to have a mince pie stuck up my bottom." And the doc replied, "Well, you're in luck because I've got just the cream for that."
Did you tick that off with Scott?
No, it's all right, isn't it?
Oh,
Greeners as bonbons available in the Superstore just in time.
Hey, that's it. That's it for today.
What a year.
Hey, thanks.
What a year.
Thanks for everyone for listening all year on Talking Tigers. I think we are back next year, Scott.
Well, if there's any money left in the kit.
Yeah, there should be a few dollars left. Not much, though.
No.
So that's it, boys.
Well, we'll be back bigger and better because we've got some really good features, new features for next year too.
Greenest grounds.
A lot of other things.
We might have a segment, What Happened Next? It's on the drawing board.
Might get the wheel back too.
No, we're not getting the wheel back.
All right.
But anyway, we're off to lunch. Enjoy your Christmas. Enjoy your holidays. That's been Talking Tigers.
Keep celebrating. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.